Okay, episode 47 of the Corvette Correction Protection Series. Now it's time to do the fun part, which is Crystal Serum Light. So what we're going to put on the car is a single coat of Crystal Serum Light, followed with 2 coats of
that one product we saw.
Followed by 2 coats, I just stuttered there, of Gtechniq EXO version 4. And the concept here is that CSL is not layerable, it won't bond to itself, but EXO will bond to that, and it will bond to itself. You're gonna draw the line somewhere, we're gonna draw the line at 2 coats after the fact, so it'll be 3 total coats. And you get a slickness like no other coating on the planet. So I've got a little bit of product left, so probably I get like a 1/6 of a bottle left and almost a full bottle of EXO that I want to use up. And I've got 5 applicator pads, CarPro applicator pads, a CarPro applicator block, a pipette, which we're going to use to distribute the CSL. I've got 4 towels here. We'll probably use a total of 6 or 8. 4 of the 240 GSM. I call it a coating removal towel in my store. I got some number 39 in case I need to clean up the trim. I've got eraser. Eraser is going to be my initial wipe, and then panel wipe is going to be my final wipe, my final prep wipe. This stuff is super aggressive. I like to kind of soak the panel down to help with help get rid of all kinds of the dust and stuff that's kind of sitting on the car, and then follow by spraying this on a separate towel and giving a final wipe down to make sure I get all the oils and stuff left over by the polishes off the car, so I get a good solid bond. The other things we'll be using will be a Phoenix Light PD35 and then a Sunmatch 3 just to kind of check our work after the fact. So let's start on the hood and work our way all the way around the car. We'll get a single coat of CSL on the car here today, and then we'll let it sit overnight, and then tomorrow morning I'll come in and do the EXO step. And then we'll come around and we'll do the rest of the car. And so what I like to do is kind of soak it down pretty. Uh-oh. I think our sprayer may have just crapped out. We lost it. We lost them, Bryce. I need one of the new black bottles to put it in. That's what I need. Was this one of our new ones, or we got a product in it?
I may or may not have stolen your 750 black new bottle. Shipped it to a customer.
Oh, that's all? We don't have any more?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. We'll just put our new CarPro sprayer on it for now and deal with it later. So as I was saying, I like to hit the car liberally. In the old days, I used to wash it after this step. I don't know if it's laziness, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to soak it down and then wipe it off really quickly. It's probably too big of an area to do, but I want to get an initial wipe, so I'll take 2 towels, initial wipe down. This will get most of the polish oils off, any leftover polish fling, dust, dirt, anything like that off the car. And then we're going to do a panel wipe down at the end. Now, we want to be careful here. We just spent all this time and energy preparing the car for this step. What I don't want to do is scratch the crap out of it prior to my final step here. So this step of doing the coating is a step I rebel against because this is so freaking easy, and yet detailing in general has kind of made it out like this was like some magic voodoo science. Yeah, this is why it's pro only.
It's not that freaking hard to install. You guys don't have some magician skills. You just slop it on the paint and wipe it off.
Yeah.
Any idiot can do it.
That's right.
The voodoo science was the work we did in polishing. That's the hard part. So what I should do is come out with a pro-only polish and pro-only polisher. That would make a whole lot more sense. But people like to copy what other people do because people are largely unoriginal. So that's why every company does the exact same thing as what everybody else does. But here at Obsessed Garage, we ain't doing that. I like to live life by logic, not bull crap. Yeah. The problem about spraying alcohol is it dries, so maybe don't do that big of an area. Nice soft wipes. Getting this ready to go. If I planned ahead, I would have done my jet filtration, run that, but I didn't, so I won't. Okay, and we'll go through and treat each section on its own. So now I'm going to take, so I'll set these two towels aside. I'm going to take panel wipe. I don't spray this directly on the car. It should be nice and smooth right now. You can kind of see this stuff flash. It like flashes and dries. It's super aggressive. So just be careful with this stuff. See that? Kind of slick over and dry real quickly.
Really hard to see.
Yeah.
Probably best to see on the carbon fiber hood.
Can't wait. Make this nice and slick.
Any news on your exhaust?
No news on the exhaust price.
I'd be curious how long it takes.
If it's a Corvette and it's mine, it takes a long time.
Of course, it took forever to get here.
Yep. That's good. Well, that's because they forgot to submit the order.
Yeah, you can really see it on the carbon.
And we're prepped and ready to coat. So I'll treat each section one at a time. That's a new step that I just added right now. Get some gloves. And let's get our block ready to go. So after the fact, we'll throw our towels away. So
I like reusing them. Really.
you could turn them into your beater towel if you wanted to. So I take one, because there's a little slightly different pile, so I fold them opposite. That's just the way I do it. Some people will mark a towel, cut an edge off, do something specific.
Thinking about getting those auto fiber towels.
No.
Or are they like numbered or something?
Yeah. I like these. Okay. The original plan was to get the pearl towels when they came out, but I like these so much. And they're so inexpensive, I find it unnecessary to change them. So they'll probably stick around in version 3.0. So I prep it, putting a lot more on than I normally would. And we go. Start in the center of the hood, work my way through it. The beauty of this coating is it's pretty much idiot proof. So you don't even have to be this deliberate. A lot of people like to use microfiber. I like to put it on with suede. I feel like I use a lot less product. I know I use a lot less product. It might take another couple of minutes to do, but I like doing it this way. And we can do large-ish areas with this coating. It's the magic of Crystal Serum Light. Very easy to apply. Don't be scared of this. If you did all the work, that's the key. We did all the prep. We did the polishing. We did the panel, you know, the CarPro eraser, the panel wipe, making sure that everything's prepped. If you don't do the prep work, it's not going to give you a good result. It's not going to last very long. You're going to end up with issues. I also find this not to be super problematic with water spots either. And I do think it's worth the effort to go and put on the EXO after the fact. So I'll revisit, and you'll notice, just put a few drops on when I revisit. Keep yourself organized. So I did that half of the hood. Now I'm going to do this top section and the rest of the fender, but I want to stay organized. I don't want to forget. I don't want to miss spots, especially since we're only putting a single coat of this on. I want to make sure that I'm covering all the areas. So take your time, don't rush it. So once I finish this fender, then I'll start wiping off the hood. So I've quit even mounting this. This block has little slits in it. I don't even put it in there because I won't make it much past the hood, and I'll have this thing in my hand by itself. So I'll get to the edge of this panel here. So it's okay, you know, a lot of people asking questions that, well, you know, what happens if you hit a little bit of the light and you come back and you hit a little bit of the fender? You know, it won't bond to itself after it's cured. But getting an overlap isn't going to hurt anything. So this is where I ditch the block. Just go to do this by hand. I'm going to get in all of this here. Make sure my supercharged badge is well protected. Wouldn't want to get that messed up. Got to keep that sparkle plastic looking very sparkly. So my guess is we'll use like half a bottle on this car. It's not particularly big. Tell you what, it's so nice doing a coating when you don't have to think about flash times and stopwatches and curing lamps and all kinds of other things. You can just take your time, work through it. Just be methodical. Check your work. We're doing it right over the trim. This is absolutely magical on black porous trim like this. I'll just go to right there. I'll take my towels. Towel number one. And I'm gonna flat level it. Oh, buddy. This looks good. I think this car is actually going to be a little more difficult to stay organized on. I think it'd be easier since it's got so many separate, like, curved lined sections, but oh man, it's so slick. This is what, all worth it. Hours and hours and hours. You can hear the static build up. It's so slick. Make sure you hit adjacent panels. You don't want it to cure because you haven't gotten to that lighting. You're not going to get to that door for 10 or 15 minutes. You don't want it to set up on that door. So this is where I'm gonna go grab my light and just double check my work here. Especially on this with all these little cracks. As long as you wipe the area, this comes off so nicely that it's kind of hard to mess up. Same thing the other side. You'll pick up little dirty spots. I wouldn't worry about them. It doesn't become an issue. So I'll mirror this, what I did to that side on this side, and then we'll go and we'll knock out the front bumper and then that little carbon piece. Overlapping is key. That way you don't miss any spots. We'll come back up vertically. If you do feel it start to get a little grabby, that means you need to add more product. I'm also looking through my application and making sure I'm getting even coverage. You can very clearly see it. You know what? While we're here, let's knock this thing out. You know what? So I don't have to move the car up and down. You just wipe this section and then move it up a little smarter. Just from this side, make sure we get all the extra. So I want to make sure we get in all the cracks so we don't end up with any leftover high spots. So good, man. So much fun. Feel it, the towel just glides over the whole surface. And I find, don't nitpick your work. Didn't do that section yet. I'm meaning your polishing. Don't even look. Just pretend like it's perfect. That's what I do.
Unless you're getting paid, but you might want to check it.
Even then, even if you're getting paid, chances are your customer's not going to see it. Now, you don't have some big thing, but I just don't want to. I don't want to micromanage it and drive myself crazy. But man, does that look good! Holy moly! So slick. Here. Oops. Okay, let's wipe this. This stuff works magically well on trim. So I'd say I've been chasing trim coatings for so long, trying all these different things, and just using the flagship coating is the way to go. I learned that at Esoteric. I thought the kamikaze stuff was some magical formula that would work on trim, but pretty much every silicone, titanium, magnesium oxide, all the modern coatings work great on plastic and rubber, better than anything else. So why are we using trim specific and wheel specific coatings is why I decided to stop messing around, just use the best flagship on all the stuff. Okay, so I'm going to finish the front bumper and obviously the rest of the car. We'll kind of capture the end, and I'll conclude this video, and we'll talk about at the end of the 3-step coating process how many towels we used and what products you'll need for that.